Hey YouTubers, Tross here, and today I want to show you a little bit of behind the scenes of my 1000 block build race minigame. If you don't know, I released a minigame about a month ago where two teams of people, or two people, race to build a example construction, their own version of it, and see who can finish first. So let me first show you a quick round of the game. I'm going to be playing by myself, so it's not going to be against anyone. Then I'll show you a little behind the scenes how I made the whole thing and how it works. So I'm in creative mode right now, but first you start in this area here. Here's basically made a look-alike of me. The other people over here are people who helped play test this map. We got some instructions here, but they're pretty self-explanatory. And we got our little reset button here that resets the whole game. And I didn't really want to do that because I need a block to start it. So I'm just going to fly over here because stepping on those pads puts you out of creative mode and a few other things. There is some music. You can have the game play. I'll just turn it on for one song. And there's also food here. If the server difficulty happens to be off of peaceful, you can just grab food and keep yourself healthy. And that happens occasionally. This uses the new 1.8 features. This is on the snapshots. As you can see, I'm actually on 14W18B, but this should work on any version after 14W8A. So let's get into it. How do you play? Well, one person or team steps on this pressure pad, and I'll just use a block. And the other person or team steps on this pressure pad, and the game will start. There'll be a little bit of animation at first, and then the game will happen. As you can see, you have a crafting table, and a chest with the items you need to build with will appear right here. So let's start a game up. I'll step. See, everything breaks and then disappears. And then we're told to go, and ooh, that's a complex one. Let me get out of creative mode. Into survival. So this is the example build. It's 10 by 10 by 10. 10 wide, 10 deep, 10 high. And that's 1,000 blocks, hence the 1,000 block build race. About half the things to build are just kind of structures. Well, all the things to build are structures. About half are just like buildings or neat things to build. Another, let's say, third or so are what I call like bigatures. They're kind of like big versions of blocks. So you have like a big giant crafting table or a big giant chest or something like that. The remaining few, and this falls into the remaining few, are examples. And this is how to be self-sufficient. This is a automatic chicken cooker. This back here in 1.8, if you have a villager in here, farmer villager is a bread farm. And then up here, if you just put some melon seeds on the tilled soil, is an automatic melon farm. So all together, this is chicken sandwiches and melons. But this is actually a little bit of a complex build. This would probably take 10 or 15 minutes to build. So I'm just going to stop the game. As you can see, if you're playing the game, as you approach the item, you are put in survival mode, which prevents you from breaking any of the blocks, so you can't accidentally or intentionally change the example build on the other team without them knowing it. And then as you leave, you are placed back into survival mode. And I have put in some protection, so if you try to like go down through the ground, you are teleported back up. So let's stop the game, which you can do. You can see the game is running because the light is on. I'm just gonna reset here, and game is ready to start again. And then I'll just take. Yeah, you can see here in the chest you're given everything you need, and you just have to copy exactly the build. So let's just start up a new one here. All you need to do to start up after the game ends, either by stopping it or by actually completing the build, is just to stand on the pressure plates again. See, everything disappears again, and hopefully we'll get an easier one. Hey, okay. It's not too bad. I'm going to cheat a little bit. You see here it says the inside is hollow. I'm just going to take a little bit of every color and build this. And let's see, I need brown and the wood as well. So if you can't tell, this is my version of the Minecraft developers, at least the ones whose characters are well known. Into creative, so I can just fly around. So we have Notch, Notch, Dinnerbone, Grum, and I'm sorry I can't remember the last one. And then my version of the default skin, Steve. So let's quickly build this. I am cheating here in when you'd normally be playing this. You wouldn't be able to fly around. Kind of the reason why I did this minigame is it's basically a game out of the default game of Minecraft. You have to build build something, and you would be racing against another team or player, depending on how you want to play, to see who can build the thing the fastest, who can most accurately and quickly copy the object. Ooh, that was way too high. Actually, building up here won't matter because that's not checked. Only the exact 10 by 10. So you can, put ladders on the outside. In fact, that's part of the reason why I give you the wood, so you can build a ladder up to get to the top. Most builds will give you a stack of logs, so you can build ladders, or just turn it into wood and build stairs, or even potentially build simple wooden tools if you want a pick or a axe or something like that you think it will help you. I missed white wool. There we go. Yeah, I get Notch's smile in there. Actually, well, leave that for now. I do have a light sensor that will reset it today, although it will let the sun almost set before it does that. There we go. Alright, his eyes are there, and then the rest of this is quick to fill in. That doesn't matter. Alrighty. 3. Something like that. And then we got some blue and some white. And then a line of black. And then the darker gray hat. So while I'm building this, there's a big redstone mechanism underground. Constantly, well, several times a second it's checking to see whether your build matches, and that's for both teams. And it triggers the win state for a particular team once it sees a match. White on the outside, white gray. These here are basically my interpretations of these skins. I looked up what the skins look like, and then kind of converted them to wool colors as best as I could. Cut. Like that. Alright, this one's going to be a little... okay. Not too bad. Red. And it was gray. And then orange in the middle there. Black, white, and then pink all around. That's off from the nose. Come on. Here we go. Alright, and that should leave Steve up on top. Don't need green anymore. And we do need 2 pieces of wood for planks. I'm gonna just get rid of those. Alrighty, and then the rest should just be sandstone. And if this is correct, a few things should happen at once. Hopefully I'll try to capture as much of it as I can. We got fireworks, little heart animation happened, we got a beacon, and we get regeneration placed upon us. The other team, instead of getting a little heart animation, gets a little storm cloud of angry villagers, and they get a nauseous spell applied to them. That's assuming the players are within a reasonable distance of their build pad. This is a little mechanism that gets copied in to fire off the fireworks. And there you go. We took 589 seconds, which, if I do my math correct, is a little under 10 minutes. And we were the gray team versus the tan team, and we got a point. And so you can play again. Everything gets reset. You can see the playing light went off. And that's how the game works. So how does it actually work? As in the mechanisms behind it. I'm going to turn the music on and show you how everything works. One thing I didn't mention is on the back here is some controls. The game has a object show method, so we'll run through all the objects. And note this sign here, don't dig down here. So obviously let's dig down here. This is a kind of secret back entrance to how everything works. So I'm going to quickly come around here. First thing I want to show off is the music machine. That's right over here. We basically have droppers facing up and down, and each pair has a non-stackable item and a stackable item. And so I have 3 of them here. Each is basically a binary, so we have 8 possibilities. So this randomly will pick one of 8 songs, and then we got 3 different outputs here. You can see this one is on and these 2 are off right now. And this is a big decoder here for this. There's actually a pulse that comes out, and see, there should only be the one with only one torch on. The top torch on, but everything else off, and that would be this one. This was the one that was picked. And let's see, playing stall. So that shoots. No, that's cat. Huh? No, that was that one. This one. There's stall. Just looking at the wrong row. All 3 of those are off. So we got a little play sound, and it puts out a message. We have a timer here that is set to be just longer than the music is. So after the music finishes, it will fire off a little signal to pick another song, as long as that switches on the on state. We got 3 songs here, 4 songs actually, that are all really close to each other, so they all use the same timer. These 2 are also within 10 seconds or so of each other, so they use the same timer. Actually, let's see this one. There we go. And if I left it on, it picked it again. That happens sometimes. The loudness is basically controlled by... There's actually 2 different sets of music playing blocks here. And so for the loud version, it's played basically at the surface level. For the quiet version, it's played deeper underground, so it's not as loud when you hear it. But that's the music machine. The real game is here. This goes to the pressure plate of the one pad. this goes to the pressure plate of the other pad, and when they're both stepped on, this AND gate signals. We then clear the areas out. We delete the chests, reset the timer. This does the little animation, basically makes all the blocks break into blocks, and then after a brief delay, this fires out and deletes all the loose entities, clears player inventories, deletes the win markers, and then actually starts the real game starts the main game by pushing this redstone block over here. As long as this redstone block is over here, the game is running, and then that signals off of a few things. We got a little delay, clears everyone's inventory again to be sure. It then powers this block, which extends this piston here, which cuts off so you can't start again. There's also a line that runs underneath and over to here to do the same from the other side. Cuts off the pad from being able to start again. The pressure plate, I should say. There's a little bit of redstone back here to clear the fireworks out. But then the signal comes down here, and this is where the real fun begins. This is the main circuit here for the game. We got a big version of the selector. So this basically is a 6-bit. So there's a total of 64 different things it can pick. There's 64 different builds. And that basically goes on, and it spirals down in this wall, but I'll show you where that goes in a minute. The rest of this, this basically says go. This here kind of comes out for just a single pulse, and let me start a game. And basically, this is rapid clock here, or not but basically every other tick of redstone. It will fire off. So let's see if you can get a little teleport in particle effect. Ooh. And yeah, this time much easier build. Little fountain. Alright. Coming down the back way, but here we go. This is the rapid clock here. You can see this all worked out, and basically this checks if the gray has one, the gray side has one. This checks if the tan side has one, and additionally these blocks here put people into and out of spectator mode as they approach the build. When a particular side has one, the comparator here or the comparator here will activate, and the one thing it does is it shuts off the timer by it retracts this block, which then causes this block to retract and the clock to stop, and then it also triggers off all these command blocks here, and basically all these are for the tan side, and if the gray side wins, these ones are triggered off, but they're basically the same on either side. Clear everyone's inventory, set the beacon, turn on the fireworks, say you win, add a level. It's maybe something you didn't notice. Oh, I wasn't creative. But you get a level of experience. This is the win effect, the hearts. This is the lose effect. and it's just the opposite over there. It's just where they're applied, which pad they're applied to. Oh, yeah, the win effect is the restoration, and lose effect. Well, there was no one to apply it to, but it's a nauseous effect. Then these are the heart and anger particles. We update the scoreboard for wins. And then everyone is put back in survival mode if they were in not adventure, spectator mode. The rest of this area down here is 1/4 of the builds. So we got 6 lines here. They're basically a random strength. You can see here, this one is on, off, on, off, on. What happens is we originally only had 16 builds, so only had 4 lines. But then I decided to double it, and you can see down here there's another area. And so what I did is I put in 1 line here that would cut off one of the... Basically, besides these 4 lines, you can see here there's 5 lines. Basically, you got the 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a trigger, and this would only pulse really quickly. These would stay on, this would pulse quickly. To the decoders here, which are basically a 5-way AND gate. There's 5 inputs, and all of them have to be off. And the way it's wired up is that this top one, the trigger one, is normally on until it just gets pulsed for a tick or 2, which would cause, actually I think it has to be 2 ticks to get this to pulse. And each build here, like this is a minecart on a rail. This clones this into the center pad, and then these 2 clone the chest with the items to create it. So that's how this works. Each thing has 3 command blocks which control its copying, and just whichever, depending on these 4 sets of lines, and then the trigger line causes the copy to occur. But the thing is, then I decided, well, 16 isn't enough. I doubled it to 32. It's the whole area down there. And so what I did is I put in a piston that would cut off the trigger line depending on the 5th random binary generator. But then I decided, well, if I went 32, let's go 64. And so I put in a second cutoff line and tunneled through the wall. And so we have this area over here and the area below it for 64 total builds. So each section gets cut off differently. Here you can see I inverted this one here, and that's basically only one of these 4 sections will have both of these pulled back to get the trigger signal. So that's how that works. This side over here, we're on the opposite side now. This controls the object show, if you want to call it that. And it kind of works the same way. Right now you can see these pistons are down, so that these outputs aren't. These are basically the same 6 lines. But these pistons are down, so the signal can't get through. When the object show is turned on, these pistons pull up, but there's a little circuit here to make sure if the game is being played that you can't pull these up. And it actually shuts off this whole mechanism, so the object show automatically stops. But basically this is a little circuit, actually found it and extended it from a different YouTube video. But this will automatically, we got a little hopper delay, so there's items that move through these hoppers. It's a big chain, so that every 15 seconds or so a signal comes out through here, and that causes this piston to change up or down. They're sticky pistons, but we give it a one-tick pulse so it moves up or down. And when the block is down, the pulse also moves on to the next piston, and therefore it actually works like a binary counter. So this goes, 1 or 0, 1, and then when it goes back to 0, this one flips as well. And then when this goes back to 0, this one flips. So it works as a binary counter, and it will basically go through all these builds one at a time, putting them out to sea about every 15 seconds or so. And speaking about all the builds and putting them out there to sea, that's actually how I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm just going to do a quick go through an explanation of what all these builds are. And they all are oriented a certain way, like they're all technically facing me right now because that's how the build is set up outside. So some of these, like the walls right next to it, but I'll try my best to show off. Kind of the first thing to show off is when you reset the game, this is the little title screen, if you want to call it, the 1,000 block build race by Troz. So the builds in, well, I'll go in order here. They're not really in a particular order. I basically built them all here, and then when I made the extra areas, I just copied them over and then altered them. Originally, I had a lot of duplicates or just slight alterations, but I eventually, well, they're all pretty unique now. So this is just an airship. Got little propellers. This is a pirate ship with working cannons, assuming you had... oh, I do have arrows in there. Had an arrow in there. Look at that. So we got a, and there's actually a hold down there with a few chests. So this is just a giant TNT. This is one of the kind of bigatures, big blocks, and I actually did the top with the coal blocks in almost the exact same pattern that a TNT block has. Let's just... So you can kind of see it. There's a little spiral and wick going to each individual piece of TNT. The actual TNT block has 16 pieces, 4x4. I could only do kind of like 9 here. We got wool and then red clay. This little minecart on rails. This is my big version of a crafting bench. You can see this side kind of has, it looks like pliers, so I did that, and then the other side has a hammer and a saw, and I have that as well, a hammer and a saw. And then the top kind of has the cross pattern, or the 9x9 pattern. This build right here is probably the most difficult one out of all of these. It's a record player, or a jukebox, but if you come in the back here, there is ways to climb up here without flying, although you can, well, you would be in a survival mode, but this actually plays a song, and hopefully the background music won't get in the way, but you can press here to start. So we got a little beat going around down here, and then there's a counter in every 4 times. So that's the little song it plays, and then you can just move that down to stop So, yeah, I think you have to copy all the notes exactly, and, yeah, that's going to be a little difficult. So, that's why I call this one the hardest one in the game here. This is just a chest. A little big version of a chest. Here we have a bunch of Hermitcraft people. Over here we have some players of Minecraft. This is just a torch. This is a multi-ore block. We got gold ore, diamond ore, coal, iron, and then emerald. This, can't really see it from this side. I'm stuck on the wiring. But this is a giant furnace. We got some iron ore up there. We got our coal down here, smelting away the iron ore. Here we have a chicken. Here we have a bookshelf. All sides have the same exact pattern on it. Here we have a rose. It's a little tight and hard to see, but this is my version of a chess set. I tried to make queen, king, knight. It looks a little... well, it would look better from the front. It's 2 stairs stacked. We've got a bishop and a rook, and then pawns out front, and I just used alternating fence posts so they wouldn't all connect together. And we got the same thing here, just in black. So let's go down one floor. This is a lighthouse, and it actually works in that if I push this button here, let's put the TNT away. You can see we have a little light that circles around. Causes a little bit of lag, but the object isn't to have this running while you build. And let's just first copy and then break to shut it off. So we got a little lighthouse there. This is a rainbow, kind of the limited space, the best way I could do a multicolor rainbow. Here we have a little castle with, these are supposed to be flags, little creeper flags, and those are supposed to be like, I don't know, armor or guards or something. You got a little throne room there, and that's supposed to be a drawbridge. Here we have a little fishing. That sign is actually for a different build. Little fishing hole, small little hut. This is like a pyramid or something with little fires inside. This is probably the second most complex build here. These are 3x3 doors. These are there's actually 2 of them here. They're both designs by Mumbo Jumbo, although the one design had to be altered slightly to work in the current version. So this is just your typical 3x3 door, and it closes up pretty fast. And this is a 3x3 spiral door. Let's try to... it opens in a spiral and then closes in a spiral. Of course, these are probably obsolete now that slime blocks can be used to move things. This is just a simple wooden gazebo with a little wood pattern. Here we got the developers, and over here we have Yogscast. Got Simon, Honeydew, Sips, Lewis. Anyhow, here we have a snowman. Little snow levels around them with have to be sure you know how to build those. This is kind of a stable. You got a place for 2 horses, not very big. I'd make these bigger if I had more room, but I wanted to have the roof overhang like that. We do have these nice little shutter-looking. They're just trapdoors. This is supposed to be a coffee mug or something like that. Has a big number 1 on it. Number 1 dad, number 1 fan, I don't know, whatever it is. We got a little hut here. This is actually the first thing I built in the game. Here we have a little roller coaster, and I actually do include a cart in the chest, and you can ride it. It will go around. I may need to fix this again. Because I had 6 powered rails here, but the one snapshot made carts go really fast, and I had to put it down to 3 so you wouldn't fly off. But now I may need to put that back. This is just a little park with different flowers. This is a plate of bacon and eggs. So, yeah. This was a different version of the little title text, and that's all for this side. Let's go over to the other side. This is a tent, kind of like camouflage tent. And there's a little bed inside and some crafting stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is the chicken sandwiches and melons that I showed you before, or that was out there before. This is kind of similar. This is a push button and a spinner selector. So this is 5 different options, and you can push one and it deselects the other, and you can get the output from these blocks on the top, or you can put actually extra comparators on the back of these. And then this is a spinner selector. You could put an item frame right here with an arrow or a torch or a sword or something like that, and by right clicking on it, it would spin around and these different lights would come on. Unfortunately, the copy command doesn't copy item frames because they're technically entities, so that's why I have the sign. The sign does get copied, so it kind of explains how to use it, but that's how you would use it. I did include an item frame and an arrow, so you can play around with it after you have built it. Yes, each of the face blocks, as I call them, there's 2 copies of each. They differ by the corners, so it's not exactly the same build, it's just very similar. Here's another snowman, but this is a more snow golem snowman. This is a little water fountain. This is just a weird structure that I thought was interesting to build. Gotta get a little tricky here with the torches on the sand. This is kind of a copy of the house, although this one is on grass, and there are mobs attacking the Steve-alike inside. So there's a zombie, a skeleton, and this is trying to be his ribs going horizontally and his legs going vertically. And then we got a creeper out back. This is another how-to build. The mine cart won't get copied. Again, it's an entity. But we have 2 different stations here. This is a simple four-way station with most of the stuff hidden. Like you can press the red button here, and you're sent off to the red. Or, well, I don't think it will get to the green without anyone in it, but it should get to the blue. Yep. And then the yellow will take you down here, and as you saw, the minecart disappeared because it hit the cactus. If you were in it, you would just be dropped off right there, and then standing on one of these pressure plates, it pops back out, and then you can get in it, and then a second later, it fires you along. So these are this is kind of an end station that automatically collects and reuses the minecarts, and then this is kind of a four-way midway station that lets you pick where you want to go. This is a different park. The problem is leaves. Tree leaves, their data gets updated regularly to see if they need to decay, and if basically anytime the leaf itself is changed or a block next to it, the data on the leaf is changed. So to get this all to match, you would have to wait until every single leaf was checked to see if it should decay or not. And basically that takes a long time and makes, if I had real leaf blocks here, it almost impossible for this to match. So I replaced the leaves with two different colored green wools. This here is called the lie. And when this is actually copied in, after this is copied, a iron block is placed here. So it is all set up for you to accidentally build an iron golem. But it's called the lie because you have to make a cake and you aren't given any of the ingredients. You are given wheat seeds. You basically have to grow all the ingredients here. So you got wheat, you got sugar, and then I give you chicken spawn eggs. So you have to spawn some chickens and then collect an actual egg, and then I give you a mushroom, and somehow you have to figure out how to get milk from the mushroom. So there you go. This is another... Well, some people will find this hard to build. I call it a redstone trap because there's a bud switch here. So if you build things in the wrong order, you'll accidentally set off the bud switch, and then that will do stuff like move this glass block around and move these redstone blocks out of the build area. And so it's basically sort of a trap. You don't want to set off the bud switch or build it in a way that you'd accidentally set off the bud switch or any of these things. It doesn't prevent you from completing it, it just will slow you down and you have to reset a bunch of stuff. Yeah, these are color charts, sort of. So the center is just different shades of gray. Each of these are like different slices of a color cube. Like we have white here, and then black here, and then this corner is blue, and this corner is red, and this corner is green, the primary colors. So I tried to then fill in the rest of the colors, kind of how they would blend. Kind of similar for the others. You know, this is kind of like an RGB cube, and I think one or two of these are hue versions of it. But basically, yeah, carpets. You can kind of just stack carpets like this. I don't think you can stand on them, but they'll stack like this just by placing a carpet on top of a carpet. This is my attempt at a enchanting table. With the book open kind of like this. I kind of used this, the quartz, and then the black stained clay as the letters. Quartz is the page, and then we got the book with the kind of gold edges. You can see the two little gold in the corner. So I tried to pay attention to detail. This is what I call Know Your Stone and Clay. Basically, every single block that you can build out of stone and clay is in here. And in fact, like, I don't give you any mossy cobblestone. I give you some vines, and I give you some cobblestone. And you have to make all the rest. You can make all the rest. There are several recipes here that are new for 1.8, but you can make everything in here out of stone and clay and some other blocks. Even these. So that was here. I believe we have one more level, and then we'll call this the end of the video. Let's start over in this corner. Here we have an airplane. It's pretty straightforward. Got this little glass block so you can actually step up and see the inside, which does have some seats. Here we have a different boat. This is a sailboat. So that's that. We got a rocket here. We got facing up with fins and little engine thrust here. This is my poor attempt at a car. Not that great, but I'm not really sure how to improve it. That's a very nice everything you have there. We got a little Steve with a creeper creeping up behind him. This looks like the jukebox from before, but this is actually not a jukebox. You can see the top doesn't have a slit in it. This is a note block, and this actually isn't that hard to build. You can see you press the button here, and it really the inside is basically empty, but you can slide underneath the internal note block the different materials that will make it play different sounds, and every single corner has a button. So then let's see, I can slide the glass under, and you hear it makes the tick sound, or do sand, or the wood block. So yeah, that's this build. Here we have a rubber ducky. This was back to the Hermitcraft players and the Minecraft players. Sorry, Kurt J. Mac. I basically was going by subscribers at the time. Do watch your videos. So here we have a building. It's supposed to be like an office building. It's got 3 floors. This is also one of the harder builds. It's a log cabin, and I kind of went crazy with the floor. So you don't have to have it facing. Well, you need to have them the same, but if it's facing north or south, it's equivalent. If it's facing east or west, it's equivalent. So you don't have to build them in exactly the same order, but they do have to be facing the same direction. So you can see all these logs are actually going along like you would build a log cabin, and each row is like on the corners overlapping like a log cabin would be built. This actually turns out to be another difficult build. It's a super enchanting room. 2 enchantment tables, a bunch of bookshelves, and chests and ender chests, and crafting tables, and anvils. And just in testing, we had a hard time getting this to actually match up. Over here we have a big pig. And then we have basically giant versions of all the tools. We got a hoe, an axe, a pick, and a shovel. And then basically how you would make them in the crafting table. Here we have, well, originally this was a hedge maze using actual leaf blocks, but then I discovered the problems with leaves, and so now it's a mossy cobble maze. This is a giant Minecraft giant redstone contraption. These are supposed to be repeaters. That's supposed to be a comparator. That's supposed to be a lamp, and sticky piston, and little secret inside the sticky piston is a iron block and a redstone block. Exactly how you would make a sticky piston, in the center, and then there's cobble all around it. And this is basically the circuit it's supposed to be. It's just that you can't really do that in the space of one block, so I've basically kind of done that. And if you do build this, it's basically a clock that turns the lamp on and off. And then I'm just gonna break that there to stop it. But yeah, that's what that is. Big redstone thing. It's a clock of some sort. And yeah, that's all the builds, I believe. So thanks for watching and checking this out. Feel free to download and play the game and give me your feedback. And I look forward to seeing people or videos of people playing this. Oh yeah, that's one thing I didn't mention. This is a little circuit here that counts up the timer. You can see every time this lights up, the timer goes up. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I am working on a new mini game here. Well, not here, in a new map, and hope to have that done in. Well, I like to say as soon as possible. It's probably going to take me another 2 weeks just to get it in the. Well, to get everything ready for testing, and then maybe another week for actually testing and working out all the kinks. But I'll let you guys know when I do have it done. In the meantime, I'll still be doing my other videos. There's a few games I want to show off, so I'll be doing that, and I'll be doing more Minecraft videos probably too, as interesting snapshot things come out, like the sticky pistons, sticky blocks working with pistons. That's really cool, and it's gonna make a lot of interesting things possible. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.